The views and opinions expressed on this station do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 5th day of February, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carla Zul and Jackie Lambert. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start that watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching on channel 82, call someone and let them know. Just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one today as we shift our focus for the next 6 episodes to the Digital Leadership Conference. Today we'll have Deana Puccio stopping by to discuss her presentation. The daily play is the feud, so number one answers only. Let me just tell Jackie the rules early on, because last week she done some nonsense about 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't work like that, Jackie. You shout out an answer and you got to respond yes or no, because you were cheating last week. We're not doing that.
She was.
Yeah, she was cheating. She was cheating. All right, no
I
cheating.
got excited. I was like, all these answers.
Yeah. I mean, she said the answer in like one of the 20 she said, right? And I'm just like, do we stop or do we just keep letting it go? You know, what would happen in Vegas? Right? You know, you've ever played roulette? Like when the roulette, you guys know what roulette is. Okay, so roulette's
I know.
little.
Yeah.
Carla acts like she's such a good person sometimes, right? And then 2 minutes later, she just becomes that big time sinner.
I said yes, I knew what it was.
Oh, I thought you said no. Sorry. Okay. Cool. I only learned through marriage. That's what marriage did for me, turned me into a gambler. But anyway, yeah. So that's what Jackie was like last week in the feud. She kind of picked every number on the board, and I mean, you just can't win like that, Jackie. So either you have to change the ways, or you're not coming to Vegas with Carla and I, because you're just going to spend our money trying not to lose any. I don't know. Yeah, it's painful. Did you guys notice? Oh wow! See how she is showing up where she's not invited. You guys heard that the Super Bowl's this weekend, right?
I was just watching Tom Brady. He is 43. He looks good. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's almost your age, huh, Carla?
Yes, Jamal. And he's going up against it. They had the other guy from Kansas City. He's 25. And the guy was like, I hope we do well. But you know what? It's early in my career. I was like, oh, that's so hopeful. Because with Tom Brady being so old by football standards, American football standards.
Just
yummy.
American football standards.
Well, because don't they usually finish by like in the 30s?
It's a grueling sport. I mean, you've seen players, Andrew Luck, retire at younger ages. You know, quarterbacks normally are very beaten up people in those positions. So he has, I think, people like him, Cristiano Ronaldo in football, the real football, not American version. And then what's his name? LeBron James as well, still doing it at the highest level. It's one thing to still play and your professional sport at that age. It's another thing to do it in a dominant fashion. I know, Jackie, you're a tennis player, so looking at what Serena Williams, people may say, well, she hasn't won a major in 2 or 3 years, but she's still in these major tournaments. She's still making it to finals, right? It's amazing. Yeah, and Federer, exactly, Federer, Swiss brand, like the way that they're taking care of their bodies to do this at the highest level, it's quite amazing. I can't even take care of my body enough to sit at a desk all day.
Let's say it.
Yeah. You should have seen me on my run this morning, you guys. It was a hard one. But in fairness, though, yesterday morning it was 41 degrees. This morning it was a bit warm. It was 51 degrees, and I had some challenges out there. It's like my bones did not want to function in such cold. And I don't care about all you people in England and up in the Northeast that are about to tell me, oh, 41, that's great. Da, da, da. Nah. I don't care how long I've lived outside of Bermuda, how many snowstorms I've lived in. My blood will always be Bermudian.
Yeah, I
Thank
struggle in the cold.
Oh, do you play?
I don't. I just don't go outside. Like, seriously. I went outside yesterday and I went outside Tuesday. But it could be 4 or 5 days before I go outside.
That's not healthy.
We played
But she
football
got
we played football. I sent Jamal a video. We played football one day this week. Naeem was like, come out the house, mommy. You have to come out. So we're going to do walks, we said, at least twice a week.
Well, hopefully it turns into 5-6. Honestly, you need that air. You need fresh air. You don't want to be, just imagine sitting in your car all day. That's what sitting in a home is. You're breathing and you need that ventilation. But let's get on to the topic of the day. This is a hot one. I think everyone's going to get into this one here. So yesterday, the what is his? He's the interim CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, Glenn Jones. He put a tweet. He said, "Fired up for Bermuda-inspired virtual cooking class with Chef Ejipong. Buy access tickets and share the link." And then he says, "String on apron 2 for $10 from anywhere in the world in Bermuda marketplace office. Class ingredients in special display area. Dish coconut curry." So people were not happy with this, right? Now, the chef is a celebrity chef, right? Eric Edejapong. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, because I think it's so rude not to do that. But one of the concerns Bermudians had was, why couldn't we do this with a local chef? Like, you've got people saying there's pure local chefs. Why not? And saying, why didn't we use local talent? Right? Let me explain where I'm coming from with this before you all even go, because I'm going to set the tone for this. I see absolutely nothing wrong with what the Bermuda Tourism Authority is doing with this. And I want you all to hear me. And if possible, some of those people that disagreed and questioned what Glenn Jones and the Tourism Authority are doing, listen to me carefully. Listen to me as to why collaboration like this has to work for Bermuda tourism. Number one, the purpose of having a celebrity or well-known or chef from outside is to draw their followers into what Bermudians eat. So no disrespect, but if you've only ever worked in Bermuda as a chef and nobody outside Bermuda knows you, you're not really helping the tourism product. That's the part. You're with me, right? No, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know the ins and outs of what this looks like. But my hope is that let's treat it like we're bringing a musician, an artist to Bermuda. But remember when we used to bring those musicians and artists, we would have Ndonja hosting and Twane singing and stuff like that. My hope is that they can include Bermudian chefs to work with this celebrity chef. But it just comes across extremely immature and a bit uneducated when people jump up and say, why couldn't they include Bermudian chefs? There are tons of Bermudian chefs, but I think the goal with tourism is very different from the goal with culture. The goal with tourism is to draw interest, right? Now, this is not to say that there's no Bermudian chefs that can do this. Obviously, Bermudian chefs are the people that know Bermudian cuisine, I would bet, right? But have them work with this person. Again, I don't know what the Bermuda Tourism Authority is doing, but I'm saying on the surface with people saying, oh, why couldn't we get local chefs to do this? It's about the celebrity appeal. It's like saying, why didn't Hamilton Princess name their restaurant after a Bermudian chef instead of Marcus Samuelson? It's the appeal to who you're trying to attract, folks. That's it. And I want us to keep in context and not, throw things out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Carla, you look like you're hungry to say something. Get it, chef? You hungry?
As I have a piece of cake here on my left. No, I actually thought you were going to go in a different direction with it. And what you vocalized Besides, I hadn't thought about the part of partnering with a local chef. I totally agree with you, because I saw one tweet in particular, and a lady was like, why couldn't they have a Bermudian? There are talented Bermudian chefs. And I was like, Bermuda tourism, emphasizing the tourism authority, is what they do. And this gentleman, I can't remember his name, but I do remember what he looks like. He has followers, so his followers are most likely, some of them at least, are gonna come and they'll buy the tickets, and it will be the exposure to Bermuda. So I didn't understand the logic. I thought I was missing something.
Jackie?
The first thing I thought of when I opened up the link was, oh wow, this is amazing. And then I went to his Twitter page. Now we all know Twitter followers are like the hardest to get. He has almost 5,000, which means that his Instagram page has way more. So putting that amount of people together, the first thing I think is exposure. Oh, so he's going to promote Bermuda, promote this, promote that, promote. And then it's going to draw more attention to Bermuda that people are already nervous to come to because of the Bermuda Triangle. So I don't know. I just saw the positive in it. Maybe I didn't sit down and actually full on analyze it, but I see nothing but a positive outcome with this.
Here's where I would have had. Sorry, Jamal.
Real quickly, let me just go to, because I don't want us to run out of time with the audience. Nachika Trot says, "How can BTA host Bermuda Restaurant Week but feature an overseas chef? What message is this sending, and why is it US dollars? So many questions." Well, the purpose, again, Nachika, while I understand the concern and the question, the purpose is to draw interest from people overseas. And I think one of the things that we as Bermudians, and I'm speaking from experience, right? And I've said it on this show numerous times, that I don't think Bermudians have necessarily been educated as to how tourism works. I don't. And I think that's part of the issue that I have with the Bermuda Tourism Authority, that they haven't done a good job of educating Bermudians of how tourism works. I have no problem with working with celebrities or well-known people to gather interest in Bermuda. I have no issue with that. My issue, if this is the case, is that they don't partner or involve Bermudians. Tanika Eve says, why, oh, why, when we have talented celebrity chefs right here in Bermuda, like Machiko Campbell. Damien said, look, we've spoken about probably both of these individuals on this show. Tanika Eve, this is no offense, and I believe you actually were, I know your name, you're a chef.
She's a lecturer at the college.
Lecturer at Bermuda College. I don't know you personally, but I've seen you, and I think you're doing great things as well. But with all due respect, and we would love to have Machiko and Damien on this show, because we've spoken highly about both of them. I think Damien's still at Cocoa Reef, correct?
No, Whitehorse.
He was at Whitehorse, where he's getting a lot of stuff. But with all due respect, they're not celebrity chefs. They're Bermudian celebrity chefs. There's a big difference, right? And so we have to keep in context what the aim is here. Let's put our emotions aside. Let's put our emotions aside. I've been to conferences with hundreds of thousands of people. What attracts them is not the most famous local chef. It's the chef that they're using to help with their cuisine at these big events that draw people to their destinations. We're competing against places in Colorado Springs, to places in Switzerland, to places in Argentina, to places you've never heard of in the Solomon Islands, right? So, this is bigger than like thinking that your local well-known chef is what is going to draw people to Bermuda, folks. Seriously. And so I go back to my point that I'm not quite sure that the BTA has done a great job of educating Bermudians as to how to draw visitors to Bermuda. That's the problem, not the fact that they're working with a celebrity chef. Carla, go ahead.
I was going to say the only thing that I would have found a bit offensive is if this international chef was making a Bermudian dish, and he's not doing that. He's doing coconut curry. If he was doing peas and rice or fish cakes or something like that, I can see where people may have a valid, like, why would we have a outside chef doing a Bermudian dish? But outside of that, I don't see what the big stink is about.
Let's go to some other comments. The Kathy Brumby says the celebrity will draw people who will patronize other restaurants. Also, James Burt says the BTA are mostly not talking to Bermudians. Well, that's their job, is to talk to people outside of Bermuda, truthfully. The audience is potential visitors. Well, yeah, that's the point. Tanika Eve says, if tourism can advertise pink sand beaches, why not push our local talent and cuisine too? Again, it's about who you're pushing it to, and I don't disagree with you, but I think the goal here is to draw interest from people into Bermuda using the followers of those overseas. Now, if Damian Simmons and Machiko have a great number of followers overseas, then I see, like, yes, use them, utilize them as well. But I agree with the partnership. Partner the celebrity chef with one of these local guys, ladies, and let's make it happen. Karen Edward Simmons, I totally agree with you, Jamel. The tourism product, not the cultural product. And I think people don't understand the difference between tourism and cultural stuff. Like, it is a difference. We don't have enough time to get into that right now. Talent TJ Clark, what Bermuda chef is a celebrity and has the same amount of followers as a famous chef, realistically? Well, that's my point, Talent. And look, Talent and I don't normally agree on stuff with the BTA and tourism, but we just have to use common sense, folks. And I'm only speaking, you know my relationship with the Bermuda Tourism Authority, but what I'm not going to do is sit here and be unfair and unrealistic. Every day that we get behind this mic is about being fair with information that's real and credible. And I cannot sit here and tell you that we should have an issue with what the BTA is doing in this instance when their mandate is to be creative and find ways to draw people to Bermuda. At the end of the day, a Bermudian chef is probably not going to have the same impact like this celebrity chef. Again, I go back to, I don't know if this is happening. Hopefully, they are involving Bermudian chefs in the process. Renee, Sherilyn, Simmons, Carla.
Maybe a Bermudian chef will be featured along with this famous chef. We don't know. That's a key word for me. We don't know. Could be in the plan.
Yeah. Michelle White, Carla.
This is the type of education that we need locals to understand. However, to avoid this type of flare-up, maybe the BTA should always include the local impact when advertising events. I totally get it, Jamal. You read my thoughts. Hope the Bermudian chefs get exposure too.
Nachika Truck, Jack.
Then why not partner a celebrity chef with a local chef?
Well, quote.
It might be in the plans.
We don't know. I mean... We don't know, Nachika. We don't have that information yet. We don't. James Birch, the last time Chef Eric was here, they did. So I'm guessing they did. Tanika Eve, I get it. I've worked with Eric and he's great. And Lamone Woods, our partner over at Channel 82, says, why don't we just market our chefs outside of Bermuda? Why don't we create our own star chefs? This is a marketing issue. But at that, I don't disagree with you, Lamone, but I'm not quite sure Chef Eric was marketed by anyone else. They had to build their own. So I think you're asking other people to do your work for you, kind of in that respect. But I do get your point. What we don't know is happening, but I'm hoping is happening is that local chefs will be working alongside Chef Eric, and that's how the industry works. And so they will have that opportunity to market themselves on these platforms. So two different things. Elizabeth says, I almost said Eric, Elizabeth. Elizabeth said he was working alongside a local chef last year when he came. Not sure if that's happening this year. So looks like it's happened before. Talent says, gotta start sometime. Lamone Wood says, all these influencers we bought here, I definitely would like to see ROI. Well, see, now you're trying to take me down that BTA road. I've been good this morning, Lamone. I've been good. All right, so we have to get to the news break, and then we'll be coming up. Like I said, this is the first of 6 episodes that we're going to be focused on the Bermuda Digital Leadership Conference. We have David Pride and Deana Puccio coming on to speak to us about their roles and what they'll be discussing with the youngsters in Bermuda over, in 2 weeks' time, February 18th. So don't go anywhere. Carla is going to look. Before we go to the news, Jackie, I know your day off yesterday, but yesterday during the news break, I learned that a rapper got a pink diamond implanted in his head.
Did you see the bleeding picture though, with the blood dripping down his head?
We're not going. I don't want to. I just had my breakfast. You know, you just saw me finish my breakfast, right? I don't do that to me. But my hope is that the news will not get stranger than yesterday, because I'm still not. I cannot comprehend a pink diamond in someone's forehead. Like, that makes no sense to me. And if this is what makes for rap and entertainment these days, I don't want it. So, Carla, news is over to you. Damn diamond in the damn head. The
Minister of Health, Kim Wilson, apologized last evening as the as the vaccination center at the Police Recreation Club received long delays due to a shortage of available staff to administer the vaccines. Additionally, she said the vaccine hotline is experiencing technical issues as a result of the volume of calls being received. Callers may find themselves directed to voicemail or put in a queue without having their call answered. The Ministry of Health is working expeditiously to resolve this issue, requiring additional channel capacity to meet the current demand. Minister Wilson saying it is disappointing that we are experiencing challenges this week with our vaccination program as a result of the demand to register and the sheer volume of people who are getting vaccinated. However, I have to congratulate the vaccination team for doing a tremendous job in getting our residents vaccinated, notwithstanding that not everything goes according to plan all the time. We are making incredible progress, and our focus remains on getting as many residents vaccinated as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, in other vaccination news on the international front, a Canadian couple who traveled to a remote village to receive a coronavirus vaccine meant for elderly Indigenous citizens may face jail sentences over an alleged breach of public health rules, it has emerged. Millionaire casino executive Rodney Baker and his wife Ekaterina were criticized after they chartered a plane to the Canadian Yukon Territory, where they allegedly presented themselves as local motel employees to receive the vaccine. The Bakers were discovered after being taken to the airport following their vaccination last week in the community of Beaver Creek, situated about a half-hour drive from the Alaskan border. The couple were fined 2,300 Canadian dollars for violating Yukon's Civil Emergency Measures Act, but community leaders argued that the penalty wasn't enough for the wealthy couple. They have since been charged for failing to self-isolate for 14 days and failing to act in a manner consistent with their declarations upon arriving in the Yukon. February 5th. You guys are never going to guess what today is.
Cheeseless Pizza Day.
Really? Really?
Even better, Jackie. It is Work Naked Day.
Oh, right up my alley.
So excuse me while I shut off my camera. Yes, you heard me correctly, but it's not what you think. Working Naked Day was founded by Lisa Kanarak. She created this day and, in fact, a brand called Working Naked. She left a corporate job over 20 years ago to start working from home. It is a day to celebrate the freedom and flexibility that working from home allows for. If you want to celebrate all the great advantages that come from working from home, look around your working space. Do you need to give the space a facelift? Take some time to plan it. Fresh paint, a new chair, or even just a plant or two can make your area feel fresh and new. That's a commercial. Turning to weather. The temperature in Bermuda is expected to reach a high of 68. Newark, New Jersey will see a high of 40. And Liverpool, UK, a high of 47. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Tune into the full100radio.com from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Bermuda time for the office workout with Juggling Jason. That's your daily hour news break.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our guest for the day. We'll be back with David Pride and Deana Puccio. Work Naked Day. It just gets better on this show, I tell you.
Good day, Medical House, Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products.
Anything that we ask them to do, they come through.
These same professional quality products are available to you for home healthcare.
If we can use them, we definitely do so.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It also has restaurant uniforms that stand up to even the toughest shifts. If you're on your feet all day, Medical House has comfortable and stylish shoes that are also durable and easy to clean. Everyone needs some help cleaning up, and Medical House has got it. Leading-edge janitorial, facility, and maintenance supplies are all here. Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
We're spotlighting a food producer whose products are made with real, wholesome ingredients, such as the highest grade farm-grown vegetables and certified organic free-range livestock with no artificial ingredients or preservatives, and no compromising on the painstaking quality control. Imagine Foods believe that higher quality ingredients, meeting high standards of purity, yield greater nutritional advantages and a more satisfying flavor. This month, we're featuring Imagine Foods organic roasted turkey, vegetable wild mushroom, and savory beef gravy. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
All right, and welcome back to the big show. Carla Zul, Jackie Lambert, I am Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindo's. Also, our friends over at Channel 82, where you can watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications cable. So, as I stated at the beginning of this show, this is the first of 6 episodes that we're going to focus on the upcoming Digital Leadership Conference. For those who don't know, Cybertips is an initiative provided by the Economic Development Department of Bermuda government, which visits schools and supports youth organizations, community events, and local businesses. They're excited to be planning their 4th annual Digital Leadership Conference. Each year, the Cybertips Digital Leadership Conference has brought young Bermudians together for a day of leadership building, digital awareness, and learning about social justice. This year, they are pivoting to a virtual event, obviously due to what's been going on, and have selected speakers that will engage, educate, motivate the student audience even from miles away. The goal for the Digital Leadership Conference remains to help provide Bermudian students and young people with the necessary knowledge and skills to use technology safely. The 2021 Digital Leadership Conference is expected to be one of the best yet. And we will start with 2 of the speakers that will be at the event. Let's bring in David Pride and Deana Puccio. I'm not sure where they are in the world, so I'm just happy that they're here because, Carla, you're in the UK. It's about noon over there. I hope that they're not in the west coast of the US where it's like something a.m. So let's bring them on and let's get that part over with. Welcome to the show. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
So
Morning.
First off, let me ask: are either of you west of the East Coast time zone?
I'm in London.
No. Okay, perfect.
Hi.
I'm in Maine.
Okay, so you're
I'm in Manchester.
All right, perfect. I just want to. I didn't want to feel guiltier than we already feel because this is an early show. But thank you both for joining us and being a part of what's expected to be quite a informative and helpful digital conference that the government of Bermuda is putting on. But speak to us first, and I'll start with you, Deana. What inspired you both to want to be a part of this digital leadership conference, Deana?
I love Bermuda. I am lucky enough to come visit there quite a lot. My first trip to Bermuda was 1978. I'm dating myself, when I was quite young. And I think that these messages are just so important. And I think the government does a great job by trying to get a lot of different professionals from different walks of life, from different parts of the world, to help our young people deal with these very difficult and complicated issues. They're growing up in a world that we really don't understand and can't relate to, right? We don't know what it's like to have to be online and be engaged 24/7. We don't know what it's like to have to judge ourselves all the time by images that are coming through our phones and that we have constant access to. It's creating a lot of negative body image feelings for young people. We've got a mental health crisis going on, anxiety's on the rise, depression. And I think a lot of it has to do with social media. So the fact that the Bermudian government takes this on board, more governments around the world should use them as a great example, because their first interest is keeping their young people mentally and emotionally healthy and safe. So that's one of the reasons why I'm involved, and I'm grateful to be part of it.
Indeed. Thank you. And David?
Yeah, for me, one of the reasons why I love being involved with these types of conferences is I've personally seen the positive side of social media and the power of it, and seeing young people organize through social media to bring change to relevant issues. And I've seen the connectivity also of it, along with the negative of the challenges that come with things that people can say by typing that they may never say in real life, the keyboard warriors out there. But I've also seen the positive of it, of the young people who can rally around a topic and bring awareness to something that's incredibly important to them, and it inspires me to hear their stories and also to help them continue doing it.
Jackie, you there?
Oh, perhaps she's David, you have big hair, big energy, and an even bigger impact. What can attendees expect to take away from you at the Digital Leadership Conference?
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of energy, but a few things we're going to cover. In the workshop, we'll be talking a little bit about personal branding, meaning does your offline life match your online life? And what I mean by that is, some of us have these dual personalities almost on social media, where there's things we'd say or do that we'd never do in real life in front of our mom or our grandmother or friends. But online, in the cover of darkness, there's things that we might say that we would never say without considering someone else's feelings. And what's challenging about that is lots of times we forget that the stuff we do on the internet, it never really disappears. And so it's worth thinking about that, because when you get out of school and go off to college and people start searching who you are and looking for your background and all that, some of the things that you've done 5-10 years ago on social media, people can still dig up, even though we think it's gone or deleted. And so we'll be talking a bit about that. And then in the other program, we'll be talking about how to navigate these long seasons of challenge and setback that happen to everybody in life, but how to navigate them in a way where we don't try to build off of tearing other people down because we're in a dark moment, right? We all go through seasons in life, but it's about how do we navigate that without negatively affecting other people.
Indeed. And Deana, just speak to us about, you've worked with thousands of people of all ages. What are some of the difficulties you see people struggling with when it comes to internet safety?
I think that what David said, to sort of work off what he was saying, a lot of young people, generally people do things offline that they would never do online, they never do offline. So example, how much information you put about yourself out there, right? And what young people need to be reminded of over and over again is that you have no idea who's behind the screen. And I am a former sex crimes prosecutor from Brooklyn, and that is my background. And, young people would never, we grew up and you were told not to speak to strangers, right? That was a pretty easy thing parents told you. And you could recognize the stranger in the schoolyard or down the street because they didn't physically look familiar to you. The problem with online communication is we don't know who's behind the screen. So a young person will make a connection with someone that they might believe is their age and has nothing but is interested in them as a person, has a lot of the same interests. They really can't see the person behind the screen. So one of the exercises I always do with the young people is I pretend to follow them down the street, and I say, okay, how old are you? What school do you go to? What do you look like in a bathing suit, a swimming costume? And they look at me like I'm crazy. They sort of get creeped out. And I said, you realize when you put something out over social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, you are giving access to someone that same information that you would never give to the person face to face. So the hard thing is young people now, their online world and their offline world have merged into one. And they need to be able to understand that they have to behave in a different way, and they need to be more aware of who's contacting them and what they're sending out about themselves to keep themselves safe.
Indeed.
Now, Deana, you're the founder of the REP Project, and one of the causes that your organization advocates is the promoting of positive body images. But I have 2 teenagers. They perfect lips, eyebrows, butts, everything, right? They always see is this image of perfection. How hard is it to convince young people that what they see on social media isn't really, in most cases, reality?
Well, first of all, we don't look like those people. So you look at those people on social media and you say, do you know anyone who really looks like that? And I always like that. I want to get into my kid's head. I've got 3 daughters. My eldest is 23, my middle is 20, and my youngest is 17. So I still go through a lot of this with them. And I think part of the positive thing is to actually have them question what they're seeing and talk about that. And in the presentation, what I want to do, and my goal is to make young people question what they're seeing, to critically analyze the images, and not only just images about what their bodies are supposed to look like, but how they're supposed to act. There's a lot of advertising that show very stereotypical gender roles of how men and women act in relationships, or how they're supposed to behave in the house, in the workforce. And I think young people need to critically analyze what they're seeing, and they need to question it and take control back, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Take control back to say, no, I'm not going to accept this. This is not what I want. This is not who I am. And also, one of the things, I'm going to have a handout for the kids all over the island. And there's going to be examples of positive Instagram people they could follow, because there are really good influences out there, as David said earlier, and we need to capture those people and publicize them to give our children a really good feeling about themselves. We don't look like those people. I always say, you were born an original, why die a copy?
Mm-hmm.
No, people of all ages go through life dealing with body image issues. What are some techniques you use to help empower people to love and embrace who they are and how they see themselves while aspiring to do better?
Just want everyone to question it all. We're very, I think we've become kind of complacent, right? That's just the way we're supposed to look. That's what the world is supposed to be. You know, I always had an issue, no offense, with the Kardashians. And I think they should be shipped to an island far away, no one can see those people again. Because if you look at the images, I think a lot it started with them and these images of what is considered perfection, with the lips and the look and the superficiality of it all. And I think that one of the things we need our young people, if they follow Kim or they buy Kylie's lipstick, they're actually supporting a very vacuous society and a very vacuous reality. And it's about, who do we want our role models to be? If they are Made in Chelsea or Love Island or the Kardashians, we have a problem, right? And I think a lot of it is about talking to them. It's communication. Rap is about communication. We say it's raising awareness and prevention. But sit down and watch these shows with your kids. Look at their social media posts and have discussions. See, part of it is they're afraid to be honest with us because they think they're going to get in trouble. And if we say to them, look, you didn't invent Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Facebook, we did. And you know what? We've given it to you at a very early age. We've told you to figure it out, self-regulate, and get back to us when you're adults. We're sorry. That's unfair. It's irresponsible of us. So let's get the conversation going. And let's not, you guys are victims of all this. So let's try to work together to get you through this very difficult period of our lives, your lives.
Now, Jackie, your organization, I'm sorry, Jackie, Deana, your organization, I'm sure, has dealt with young people across the world. You're in the UK now, you've been in Bermuda. Do you find that the issues are different in different demographic areas, or is it just a commonality amongst young people, period, when it comes to some of these social media issues?
I think there's a real commonality. I think that when we were all growing up, and I'll say it, when I was growing up, I think there was definitely, where you grew up had it still does an influence on who you are. But because of social media and because of the internet, these kids, we do work in Malaysia, we do work in Bermuda, Kenya, UK, Bermuda. These kids, they're all being exposed to the same stuff. So, you know, and they're having the same reactions, maybe at different ages, maybe at different periods of their lives. But to be honest, there is a real commonality of what these young people are going through, because as I always say, Pandora's box is now open and we can't shut it.
Now, welcome back, David. With you being a motivational speaker and the pandemic, let's just admit it, it's affected so many people's lives. People aren't able to see their loved ones. They may not have access to the internet. How do young people, how do you motivate young people who are finding it so difficult to stay up during these challenging emotional and mental times?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things that young people and everybody can do is not try to do everything alone. During the pandemic, I think it has exposed a little bit of how raw so many of us are and how much we all have a need for a support system. And lots of times our ego can get in the way with trying to stop us from asking for help, or being open with people about dark times that we're going through. But I think now more than ever, it's really important that we don't just try to step up to the challenge of navigating this really hard time alone, and find some trusted sources that we can turn to, that we can walk through this with together, and also focus on not projecting more negative, meaning worrying about a month from now or 2 months from now, or what could happen if this doesn't ever go away, or that type of thing, and focusing on let's get through today, but let's not try to get through today alone.
Indeed. So February 18th, if there are students who are not signed up right now, what would you say to their parents if they're watching right now? What would you say? I'm Deana Puccio. This is why you want to come and attend my session. Deana.
I think this session is going to be very empowering and educational, but not in a boring way. And I think this presentation will give your young person, your child, control. And that's really important. They need to feel that they are in control of what they're receiving, how they're feeling. I want them to question everything. I want them to be able to come back to you as parents or carers and say, you know what, I really want to talk to you about these issues because I haven't felt the confidence or empowered to do it in the past. So whether it's an issue when it comes to they've received sexual photos and they don't know how to handle it, whether they've been exposed to pornography and on the average age young person's being exposed is as early as 11, whether they're seeing other images that are making them not feel good about themselves. As David said, we want them to be able to not go through this alone. So the goal of my presentation, and I think the whole conference, is to open up those very awkward, as my daughter says, AUX conversations between our kids and us.
And David, if you can answer the same question, any parents watching today, what do you want them to take from it to say, you know what, I'm getting my child involved in this. I want them to hear David speak.
You want your kids to be here because they're going to learn a ton that's going to expand their mind a little bit, but also, on the front end of it, we're going to be talking about things that are going to directly affect their future, directly affect their college prospects, their job prospects, their entrepreneurial prospects as they navigate the fields of social media. But also, and in my opinion, even more importantly, we're going to be talking about those times when, they got picked on at school, they got picked on at the ride at home, they get home online, and now they're getting piled on by 75 other kids. And those negative challenges they may have been dealing with in life chase them all the way home, and it's 24 hours a day. And how do we deal with that? How do we navigate that without making some life-changing decision in this moment of despair? How do we see past that, and who can we turn to?
Indeed. David Pride and Deana Puccio, thank you both so much. Is there anything before you both leave that people can follow you on social media to learn more about your businesses and what you do? Deana?
Well, one thing I want to say is we have compiled a survey that we want the kids on Bermuda to do. It was sent out from the government last week, and it is asking them what sites they're on, how many hours they spend on social media, and how it's all affecting them. I think it's a really important tool and resource if you can get your kids to fill that out, so we all know what we're dealing with. So it's information that I want to feed back to Bermuda and to the education authorities and to the schools. It's really important. You could find us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and it's the Rap Project UK. And we also have a podcast. If you go on our website, www.therapproject.com and .co.uk, you'll find all of our information. And we are big supporters of Bermuda and absolutely love you guys. And I cannot wait to get back and see everyone again. So thank you guys so much for inviting me virtually to participate.
No problem. And David, anything from you?
Yeah, you can find me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok at David A. Pride. or you can go to David Pride Speaks is my website, and you can find me there and read my writing and all that. I can't wait to connect with all of you.
All right. And let's just share. This is the, someone did ask more information, is BermudasDigitalLeaders.com. And Sloan Johnson, who is integral in putting this together, just put at the Rat Project UK is one of the handles. And Kathy Brumby asks, is it just for children? And Sloan perfectly answered that question. There's an adult session in the evening. So mainly for young people, middle school and high schoolers to learn something. But Deana and David, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I'm looking forward to being a part of it with you.
Thank you.
Hope to meet you guys in person someday. Carla
Take care.
and Jackie. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Welcome. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
David and Deana there. Really appreciate them being a part of this show today. Yes, so the Digital Leaders Conference going down on February 18th, folks. February 18th. Make sure you get your middle schoolers and high schoolers signed up. Now, Carla, I'm going to ask a question on Carla's behalf because she's thinking it. So I'm going to ask, can her children who are not in Bermuda participate since it's virtual?
The answer would be yes.
Okay.
I wasn't asking that, but yes.
No, that's why I'm asking for you. Yeah, you probably didn't think of it, but you did think it. Yes. DavidPrideSpeaks.com is his website from Sloan. So thanks again, Sloan, for putting this on. Want to revisit the conversation from earlier too. Let's see if Jackie's back in the house. Jack is back in the house. All right. Yes, you can. Yes. Sloan, definitely your children can sign up.
A great lineup before you go. I was on the site last night, an awesome lineup of presenters. So
absolutely, and you'll be hearing from most of them over the next 6 episodes. So make sure you tune in. A lot of young Bermudians participating. I'm looking forward. If you haven't been on the website, go check it out. BermudasDigitalLeaders.com. I'll put it up one more time. Some awesome people that will be speaking about various topics. But just want to revisit the conversation from earlier. Our good friend and partner, Lemon, I sent him a WhatsApp, but I just want to correct him on something. Bermuda is not marketing the chef. They're not marketing Chef Eric. That's what I want to make clear here.
They're using the chef to market Bermuda.
Correct. It's a partnership where they're, as Jackie just said, I wouldn't even say using them. That sounds bad, but we're partnering. We are technically, but we're partnering with the chef to market Bermuda. So I think we just have to kind of understand. And like I said, until you get in these spaces, like tourism is not just about Bermuda. And until we get in international spaces and gain a greater understanding of how tourism works, you're probably going to feel the way you feel. So I know people are in their feelings. I get it. I guess I can say this. You all don't leave anything to the imagination. Jamal, I see from visiting the website, you're a presenter. Yes, I am, Madam Trott, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
Nachika, he's been keeping secrets. I was going to out him, but I was like, I ain't saying nothing. 2 days in a row has been exposed for keeping secrets.
You make it sound so bad. I mean, you and Jackie keep secrets?
I have to look on a website.
Yes, surprises. I was trying to surprise you. I love that, man.
Surprise.
It was a surprise. I was trying to surprise you all. But
we're proud of you. We're proud of you.
Jackie, speak for yourself. Don't keep secrets from each other. No, I'm proud of you because I knew, though. I did know, but I thought you would have said, including myself, like walk in that greatness. It's an awesome lineup, and to see you included, kudos to you, puppy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. No,
you ain't.
I wouldn't say I'm humble. You seeing me, girl? But no, it's not about me. And I think I just want to, highlight other speakers. And then when we get to the episode where we'll talk about what I'll be presenting, I'll definitely discuss it then. But thank you guys for the recognition. And I'm glad that I was asked to be a part of this because I look forward to, if I can make a difference and help people, then I'm happy to do it. So I am really looking to thank you, Kathy Brumby. This is my best friend right here. See? If it's online, this ties right into the conversation today, right? Nothing's secret anymore.
I mean, go, Kathy. Go one. Put a bang.
Here we go. But look, we have the daily play coming up, and we are gonna have some fun this morning. It is PG. And do I need to repeat that? It is PG.
It's always PG.
With you and Carla, I don't know, man.
It's you.
Me. But no, I want to thank Deana Puccio and David Pride again, because Carla, you've spoken about this on numerous episodes. You've educated me as it relates to young people using social media, especially in regards to body imaging and so on. So I really think that these conferences are beneficial. I mean, they spoke about, people being confused by what they see and portray online versus who they actually are. But so when we come back after the Daily Play, I definitely want you to touch a bit more on that as to how you speak to your children about social media. The great thing about, I'm going to use Jackie. It's just easy to pick one,
Only because you heard Jackie, because it's me any other day of the week.
Well,
I'm not even concerned.
I'm just saying, I'm not even going to say it anymore because Jackie's a good person, folks. She's a good person. But I used to love picking on Jackie about the whole getting kicked off Twitter thing. But Jackie is probably one of the most entertaining people on Twitter. Like, it's just, you really don't know what you're going to get from it. But this is Jackie. If you've ever seen Jackie in person, like, you're like, is there no off button? Like, she's just is on fire, right? And that's her Twitter. So I think she's a perfect example. Now, keep in mind, her and Deana Puccio had something in common. Jackie, I think you got banned on Twitter for something about the Kardashians or something. And Deana Puccio said something about the Kardashians this morning. So I think you and her would make great friends based on your feelings about their sister.
I agree. As soon as she said ship them off, I was like, battle girl.
See, now you're trying to get banned again. Now you're trying to get banned from Twitter again. You can't do that stuff. But let's take a quick break. It's just funny. Let's take a quick break. Then come back with the Daily Play and wrap it up. And Carla, don't forget, just want to get your input on how you speak to your children about social media. On its use. I'm not even sure if your children use it, but I know you have 3 different ages. But we'll take a break. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. Daily Play. Hopefully Carla doesn't let us down like yesterday.
Bermuda, do you know the difference between internet and Wi-Fi? Don't worry, neither did I. Let me break it down to you. Internet is delivered to your modem, which then has to push the Wi-Fi signal into the rest of your home. Do you find that the further you're away from your modem, the weaker your Wi-Fi signal gets? That's because Bermuda's homes are built hurricane tough. It's really difficult for that Wi-Fi signal to reach every room. But you're in luck. Our One Home Wi-Fi solution guarantees Wi-Fi coverage in and around your home with the help of our Eero devices. Plug in the Eero around your home and it will create a mesh Wi-Fi network in every room. Check us out at One today to sign up and make sure you can stream, work, and play from every corner of your home.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Nasty Carla up in the right root, Jackie down bottom, and nice little Jamal top left. So look, Daily Playtime. Here we go. Jackie might be a little delayed, so you might get the answer first, Carla. Here we go. First question. Number 1 answers only. Name something you pick.
Your nose.
Cherries.
Nose is 3.
Carrots.
Nope.
Cherries.
Well, cherries can be fruit, which would be number 2, but nope.
What's number 1? One thing I would say is sewers, but that's a boy thing.
Think Valentine's.
Partner?
Roses, flowers.
Flowers. She got it. She needed all the hint in the world, but she got it. All right, second one. Ready? Help them out, folks. Help them out. What's a slang word or phrase used to refer to husbands?
Hubby.
That's number 2.
Spouse.
Yeah.
Ball and chain.
I don't have one.
Me either.
All right.
To your hubby, sweetheart. That's pukey.
Boo.
All right. The number 5 answer was Big Daddy. Number 4, other half. Number 3, better half. Number 2, hubby. And number 1, old man.
would've
See,
known
that's
about that.
old. My
Yeah.
old man.
Some people got it though. People got
Big Daddy.
other half. Some people got it wrong, saying boo. We did have people.
No,
get
I feel.
oh. All right. Here's the last one, folks. This is easy.
Ball and chain.
That's what I said.
Name an animal that best describes your boss.
Dog.
That's number 3.
Ass.
A donkey.
That's number 6.
Wait, and this is not personal. This is just the answers. Let's be clear.
Cougar.
No, that's the employee.
All right.
I said donkey too. I don't know.
Lion.
Donkey was number 5. Sorry.
No, I got you. You did say that, but what's
Lion.
number 1?
Not a pig. Nope.
A lion.
That's the same as donkey.
Number 1, what? An animal.
A lion.
Nope. No lion on there. All right. So the number 6 was
A dog. No, I said.
Let me go. Number 6 was pussycat.
Whoa.
Number 5 was donkey. Number 4 was bear. Number 3 was dog.
Wolf.
Number 2 was monkey or ape. I'm not quite sure certain people should be calling their bosses that. And the number 1 answer is what most people refer to politicians as.
Sheep.
Snake.
Oh, wow. You all have bad employee relations.
Yeah, that's the number 1 answer. There's a snake. All right. For good luck, since you all got one wrong, for good luck. Name something you wouldn't be able to do if your water was shut off.
Get a bath.
Shower.
The number 1 answer was both. Bathe/shower. You both got it. All right. So, Carla, before we get some inspiration, speak to us about like what some of the things that you say to your children as far as social media use.
Well, my daughter is now 20. When she got on social media really young behind my back, so I was not impressed. But once she got a little older, say 13ish, for me it was no private parts, don't send any pictures out because don't trust people with stuff like that. She had an incident of being bullied, so I had to teach her about that. With my son, who is almost 15, excuse me, it's don't ask for pictures of boobs and stuff. If you do receive them without asking, don't share them, that type of stuff. Because I just hate that when people share stuff where they think they can trust someone and then someone puts it out there. So the way to not put it out there, it to happen to you, is don't put it out there. So that's the biggest thing for me. I don't like bullying. So I'm huge on, I know kids are going to do whatever they want to do as far as chant each other and carry on, but just keep it respectful. None of your mama stuff. I'm very hypersensitive to stuff like that.
What's your review of today's episode, Jackie?
I really enjoyed it. I think that we need to really be careful of how we utilize social media, especially for our kids. Like my niece, she's only allowed to post pictures that she takes of everything else and her artwork. That's all she utilizes it for. But when it comes to body image issues, it's very hard to keep them off the internet, but to constantly instill in them that they are beautiful the way they are and go from there. But I loved it. I loved this episode.
We didn't have the internet coming up, but some of us didn't. But I'm glad they have events like this because let's be for real, as adults, we see adults who go through this. We see adults who mirror an image and put pressure on themselves because of social media. So it's a good thing to get to the young ones and hopefully play a role in breaking that potential for all that stress.
Well, we're got to wrap it up because we're against time. But I want to say this. I want to touch on body imaging and so on. As you all know, I've been very vocal about Instagram, for instance. I think Instagram is probably the worst social medium that was created. I don't get people posting pictures of themselves all the time. Now, you can do what you like, if that's what gives you confidence, so be it. But I just don't get it. Like, what you look like. You do. What is the purpose of doing that? Like, if you're celebrating something, sure. But I think it's created this false sense of appreciation that's not really there, especially among young people. Social media has a place. Instagram has a place, but when I look at Twitter, it's like, it's conversational. It's it's a different kind of engagement. Facebook, same thing. It's like people's soapbox. I think, managing that and managing young people, like looking at how many people like my post, like responding to that as if, man, people don't like me, or I'm not pretty or handsome or whatever. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. So I am concerned, and Carla makes a great point. It's not just young people. There are a lot of older people that do this as well. So my hope is that things will change for the better as it relates to social media, not just for young people, but for everyone who has challenges with it. What you got for inspiration, Carla?
Better to live 1 year as a tiger than 100 as a sheep.
Say it again.
Madonna.
Say it again.
Better to live 1 year as a tiger than 100 years as a sheep. Madonna.
Oh, I agree. That's a good one today. Don't forget, Juggling Jason will be coming up. If you aren't already, for those on the Full 100 Radio, stick with him. He'll be up in about an hour. If you aren't on there, make sure you click on, download the app for the Full 100 Radio and get your office workout on. Even if you're home, if that's your office, get it on. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linders, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you. As always, we appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you next week. She's Carla. She's Jackie. I'm Jamel. My friends, make it a great weekend. What you guys got, man? Me neither. Check you later.